Good morning and welcome to Inside News. It's our Friday show on the mark where we are going to go through the card. It's the 13th meeting. 13 is an unlucky number for a lot of people. For me, it's a very lucky number. I've always had luck with 13. Let's hope I have some luck finding you some winners. I want to introduce our new guest, Yanish Apudu. He's a young racing enthusiast. He manages a couple of Facebook pages. I think one of them is Turf Time. Welcome, Yanish. Thanks very much for joining us. What was the other group that you managed? It was Turf Time, man?
Pronostic des courses and Turf Debate.
Okay, brilliant. So I'm sure a lot of you that follow Facebook, the groups, will know Yanish. And let's hope that he can help you and me find us a couple of winners for tomorrow's meeting. I have to say, it's a tough card. In fact, it's a very tough card. It's very hard to find an outright banker. I think I hopefully have found one. But like I said, we'll go through the card as best as we can. Let's start off with race 1. It's a 1500 meter rating 0.25. Usually the rating 0.25s, it's always difficult to find a winner. But like I said, I think I found a banker. I'm going to bank a number 9, Man from Seattle. He was my value bet last time. I think it's a little bit unlucky. He only got beat a length. But he's come on a lot from that run this was. I've seen him in training. He's drawn 1. He's only got 58 on his back. I really do like the looks of number 9, Man from Seattle. I'm going to ask Yanish what he thinks of Man from Seattle. What do you think?
I like the horse a lot in this race. He did a decent race last time with Suful. The horse is still young, but I think she shall do well here with draw 1. And there will be a lot of pace in this race with 3 front runners. I think he can win this race.
I think so too. What I do like about this horse is if you just have a look at his finishing time last time, 24 and a half seconds. And if you go through every other horse in this race, no one comes close to that. So, Man from Seattle with that one draw, I think he'll be in the right position. If you go back to his first 2 runs in Mauritius, hasn't had a good draw. This time he's got a good draw. I told you, I think he's matured a lot from what I've seen in training. And I do believe that this horse is going to be a hard horse to beat. I'm going to make him my banker for the meeting. Right, then I want to talk about 1 or 2 other horses, and I'll ask Yanish what he thinks about the race himself. Let's first of all, Gels Tiger, another horse that has improved a lot in training. I see he was heavily supported last time. I don't know if you remember, I never liked him that much, but I can say that he has improved in training as well. I think he's looking a lot better, a lot sharper. Unfortunately, he's got the 9th draw to deal with, which is not going to be easy, but it's not a great field, to be honest, and he must have a chance. And then the old man, Hullabaloo, he's 9 years old, but doesn't know how to run a bad race. This horse always knocking on the door. He's got 4 kilos off his back. He's drawn 8. I don't think the draw is a big problem for Hullabaloo. He does come from off the pace. But that's going to be my trifecta. Man from Seattle, Gels Tiger, Hullabaloo. Yanish, what else do you see in the race? Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I like Nadas in this race. He finished well last time. And I think, like I said earlier, there will be a lot of pace in this race. And I think he will do well here. Also, like you mentioned, Hullabaloo with Brandon Lee, who rode well last time. I think he got a decent chance as well. I'll go for Man from Seattle for the win in front of Nadas and Hullabaloo.
Okay, great. That's Yanish's trifecta. I must say, Nadas, he is an in and out sort of runner. Runs a good race, runs a bad race. It's very difficult to always, to select him, but he is more than capable on his day. When he does put his best foot forward, he is capable. So that's Yanish trifecta, almost the same as mine. Right, let's move over to race 2. It's a 1450 benchmark 36. I like the look of Heart of Darkness. We're just Yanish just spoke about Brandon Louis. Yes, he rode an excellent race on Racing for Fun last week. And I was going through the card and I see he's got a fantastic book of rides. And I wouldn't be surprised me if he rides 2 or 3 winners on this meeting, especially with that 4 kilograms off his back. He's riding Heart of Darkness here, 55.5 kilos on his back after a very good win. And I thought he was a bit, I wouldn't say he was unlucky, but this horse obviously likes to race in front. And going through this race, there are 1 or 2 horses that like to race up there, but they aren't drawn too well. I think if Heart of Darkness gets to the front with that claim, if Brandon can just sort of dictate his own pace, I think he will be quite a tough horse to beat. He is 5 kilograms better off with Tweak the Wind the last time they met. 5 kilos is a lot of weight over, a lot of ground over 1450. And I think it's all obviously going to depend if Brandon can get him out to the front. And if he does, I think it'll be hard to catch. I don't know, Yanish, what are your views on Heart of Darkness?
I like this horse as well. As you said, he got 4 kgs claim from Brandon Louis. Leclos is drawn outside him, but I think Heart of Darkness will lead this race. And like he did the
time before,
he might do it as well from pillar to post.
Okay, great. Anything else you want to talk about before I mention my other 2 fancies? Are there any other horses you like?
I like Phoenix Rising. we should ignore his last race. He did 2 excellent races behind Pride Rock, Melson, and Applejack, and it's the first time that he drawn well here. With blinkers on, he will follow close to the pace, and I like him for the win. Along with Doyles, he's from High Chaparral. The distance will suit him this time, and he will be much better.
Okay. All right, Heart of Darkness was my Doyles. I agree with Yanish. He is a High Chaparral. As we know, they stay forever. It is a 1450. Remember, his first race here in Mauritius was the 990. Obviously, that was hopelessly too short for him. He won a 1600 in South Africa. He's a nice horse. He only had the 3 runs in South Africa, 1 win and 2 places. Only less than 5 lengths behind Zodiac Jack in 1,000 meters. You have to respect him. Biggest question mark is obviously his second run here in Mauritius. A lot of horses come here. They run well first time out. They don't always do as well their second start. But every single horse is different. So we can't tell until the race is run. But obviously Doyle's on form. You have to respect him. And then the other horse I want to talk about is obviously Tweak the Wind. He's won his last 2. And he must have a chance. Sorry, he won his last start. And he must have a chance as well. But like I said, he is 5 kilograms worse off with Heart of Darkness. And then just touching on Yanish's Phoenix Rising, I must be honest, I'm not a fan of Phoenix Rising. He came from Port Elizabeth. But you can't ignore those 2 very good runs behind Pride Rock and Melson. And then to Applejack. And he was a little bit disappointing last time. But he has got blinkers on for the first time. He is drawn 2. So I suppose you can't ignore him. My trifecta, I'm going Heart of Darkness. I think with the 4 kilos off his back, if he gets to the front, he's going to be hard to catch. And then I'm going to go Doyles and Tweak the Wind. What's your trifecta?
Go for Phoenix Rising in front of Heart of Darkness and Doyles.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's race 2 wrapped up. Let's go race 3. I think myself and Yanish agree with this. We spoke a little bit before we started. I really like the look of Vars Dream. I know the stable hasn't had a winner. I personally would like to see them have a winner. And going to this card, I really think that Vars Dream has got a great chance. Once again, ridden by Brandon Louis. We're putting a lot of pressure on Brandon. I think this horse with 58 on his back. Another horse, if he leads, he'll be very, very hard to catch Vars Dream. And he's a classy horse. And a very good run, his second run of the season when he ran sort of just under a length behind Street Bouncer in that 990. But he's won over 1400. He's won over 1400 comfortably. So from the front as well. So I think we have to respect Vars Dream. Why do you like him so much, Yanish?
I think he got a good draw with the claim from Brandon Louis, and he's outclassed in this race. If he leads, he'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, I agree with you. Jumberman, he's been jumping a lot better this year. Last year he was obviously always losing his race at the start, but he has been jumping a lot better. In fact, he's only losing a half a length, and his form has been very good this year. So is the stable and Cedric Sejon. They're in red hot form, so you can't ignore Jumberman. I think he's going to enjoy the fast pace as well. Jumberman, you got to respect. Then Barak Lavan, very, very good debut. And I can tell you he's working very, very well this horse. And obviously the 1400 meter is going to suit him. Yanish, what else do you like in the race?
I fancy Jumberman also. Last time he finished 12th. I saw the horse yesterday. He's still in a very good condition. And I think he'll be there at the finish.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to give my trifecta. I'm going to go Vars Dream, Jumberman, Barak Lavan. All right, that's race 3. Let's move on to race 4. It's a 1450 benchmark 36. I personally like Cape Horn. He did run a bad race last time. Well, when I say bad race, he only got beat 2.5 lengths, but I think we were expecting a lot better run from him. But, you know, every horse is allowed a bad run. I mean, it's like human beings. We're all allowed to make a mistake or do something wrong. And I think you can't ignore his form before that. Just have a look at those 3 seconds behind some decent horses. And the thing I like about Cape Horn, he's proven himself in this rating and over this distance. And I did see him work on Tuesday morning. I was impressed with his workout on Tuesday. I give him a big chance. Cape Horn, Yanish, anything to say about him?
He's my favorite horse at Gadgetov Stables. I like him a lot. Like you said, we should know his last race. It was Daniel Staxal's first ride, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
He had
Correct.
He was not used to the track. I think he'll go one better this time. For me, he's a horse to beat in this field.
Okay, so we agree on Cape Horn, myself and Yanish. What is your second choice? What is your second selection?
I think it's a Robbie Strad horse, ready for takeoff. The horse won well last time, and I think he gained on more confidence. With his second draw, he will lead again, and I think he's the second best.
Okay, I've also made ready for takeoff my second choice. I don't remember last time. It was quite a hard day to find a banker, and I banked him. It's obviously going to be a little bit tougher for him this time. He's up in class slightly, and he's going to want to lead. Do you see anything else taking you on for the lead in this race? For the lead, I can't find anything. I think Ready for Takeoff with that draw will probably be too quick for them. Robbie Fad knows him well. I'll make him my second choice. And then one horse saw training on Tuesday. I thought is working a lot better. Is number 5, Galtero. His 2 runs this year haven't been the same as last year, but I think he's come back to form. I definitely think Galtero has a chance from that draw. Do you want to touch on Galtero? Have you seen him at all? Do you like him?
I like him. Last time I don't understand his performance, but I think with a better draw he will run well.
Yeah.
And another horse I like is Captain Ram.
Yeah.
He's a big baby.
Yeah, he's a beautiful
He
horse.
got a decent South African form. He will not take long to break his maiden tag here.
Yeah, I've seen him here. He's a beautiful looking horse. He's a Captain Al, a lovely horse. He barrier trial not so long ago. I was very impressed with his barrier trial. I think Captain Ram, I've written down, he's got very good maiden form from South Africa. He looks decent, but I think he might just need this run. So let's see how Captain Ram goes. I think he's also for the future Captain Ram. He's a beautiful looking Captain Al. Okay, let's move over to race 5, 1650, benchmark 51. I have to say, this probably looks like one of the toughest races on the card. I personally like Rap Attack. Excellent second behind Yankee Captain last time. He was drawn badly that day. He's drawn 2 this time. And I think, obviously, the 50 meters extra will suit him as well. Very good run behind Yankee Captain from that bad draw. Yanish, Rap Attack, what do you think about his chances?
I agree with you, Mark. Last time, if he was not behind New Zealand, who drops a bit, I think he would have won that day. And this time with the second draw, Rama will not have any problem to find a position in the race. And for me, he's a horse to beat.
Okay, well, so far, I think we've liked 3 of Amos Adol's horses. Let's hope that he can crack a winner soon. I'll tell you one horse that I do like is Charleston Hero. He had excellent 2017 form. He hasn't found that form yet, but I can tell you he looks a lot better in training. He looks like the old Charleston Hero. And I think, once again, Brandon Louis, 4 kilos off his back. If this horse leads, he could be quite a hard horse to catch. Remember, he likes the 1600 or the 1650. In fact, his last run over 1650, he beat Top of the Rock by almost 7 lengths. Listen, obviously, Top of the Rock isn't in the same sort of category as this, but he won by 7 lengths pulling up. And I think that Charleston Hero definitely has a chance. Anything you want to say about Charleston Hero? Do you like him?
Yes, again, a great chance for Brandon Louis. I don't see many front runners in this race. He'll be alone in front.
Yeah.
And like you spoke for his 2017.
Last year's form was
he did
so
well last
good,
time with 4 wins. I think if he run on his form of last year, it stands a good chance.
Yeah, I agree. If he brings back that 2017 form, he definitely is a big runner in this race. Then anything else you want to talk about? Obviously, like I said, it's a tough race. There's probably an argument for every horse in this race. Orange Tractor, unfortunately, he's drawn 9 this time. I tell you one horse I do like is The Right Road. I liked him on training. I showed you his training on Tuesday. I was lucky enough to listen to an interview of Robbie Faz yesterday. He also likes this horse. He thinks that he's coming on nicely. And I think Right Road you have to respect as well. Yanish, anything else you want to talk about?
Exactly, I will talk on The Right Road. I saw the horse yesterday. He has certainly improved from his last 2 races. He's drawn well this time, and I think along with Rap Attack, he should be fighting for the win.
Okay, yeah, Right Road, like I said, Robbie's interview was quite interesting. I've written down here, he's coming to hand slowly. Robbie Fred seems to agree. If you do manage to go watch that interview, it's quite interesting. So I'm going to go Rap Attack, Charleston Hero, The Right Road. I'm going to make Charleston Hero my value bet. I think he's quite a good bet at sort of 7, 8 to 1. I think if this horse leads with 4 kilos off his back, definitely has a good chance. What's your trifecta here, Yanish?
I go for Rap Attack, The Right Road, and Orange Tractor.
Okay, perfect. Right. Race 6 is the second leg of the championship, the 4-year-old championship. And we see Lee Star back again. I must be honest, I was a little bit doubtful about him seeing out the 1600. But once again, I listened to that interview of Robbie Fraz yesterday, and he's he's very confident that Lee Star will see out the 1600. He also said that the horse has improved in training as well. So that's quite a big statement, because this horse has obviously won his last 2 races quite convincingly. And Lee Star, well, he's an up-and-coming horse, and he definitely has to be the favorite in this race. Well, the first pick anyway. He's a very nice horse, and he just keeps on improving. Lee Star, what do you think, Yanish?
I like him as well. For last time, I backed him for the win. And this time, the 1600, I have a doubt about it. He ran once and got beaten by 7 Fountains. I think there are better horses in this range as last time.
Yeah.
But I think he's the second best.
Okay, what is, if that's second best, what's your first choice?
My first choice is Ultra Light. The horse got a very good South African form. He runs again William Longsword, African Night Sky to mention some. He showed some gate speed last time, and I think Van der Merwe will try to settle him in front.
Yeah.
And for me, he is a horse to beat.
Okay, I must say I do like I Travel Light as well. The only thing that puts me off was that gallop on. I mean, it was an excellent gallop on Tuesday, but it was a hard gallop with Hard Day's Night. I'm just a little bit worried because he galloped quite hard on Tuesday. I think it was a mile. Oh, look, they obviously didn't go flat out from the mile, but it was a hard gallop, and obviously it's all going to depend on how he pulled up after that gallop. Excuse me. Like I said, I thought it was a very hard gallop. He was my first choice, but that was quite a strong gallop, and very seldom you see horses gallop on a Tuesday that come out and win or run well on a Saturday. So that's my only question mark. Form-wise, I think he's the right horse. I'm just a little bit worried about that hard gallop on Tuesday morning. Then Oomph, well, you know, I can't do a show without talking about Oomph. He obviously hasn't shown his form from last year, but I still think that the 1650, the speed's going to be on in this race. He's going to be running on well. I hope he runs well because I really am a big fan of Oomph. I just hope that he can reproduce that run that he did in the Gold Cup last year when he finished third behind Ready to Attack. It was an awesome run in a 1600. If he reproduces that, he obviously must have a chance. And then the great one, well, that was it was a great debut when he ran behind Yankee Captain. Excellent run, and obviously he's going to improve a lot. Another horse that's second run in Mauritius. We're not exactly sure how he's going to handle that. I suppose Lee Star and I Travel Light. I think we're going to agree on those two.
Yes, and I like New Zealand for the third place. He did two nice outings here, and the distance will suit him this time. I think Bassant knows the horse well.
The only thing, I don't know if you were you training on Tuesday when you saw it. Did you see his barrier trial?
No,
My biggest worry about. I'm a big Newlands fan, as you know, as well. I've his last two runs. In fact, his first start, he was my value bet. I just didn't like what he did on Tuesday. He jumped out the barrier trials at the 800. He stopped dead. He refused to gallop, and I'm not sure he'll do it in a race. But it's a little bit of a worrying factor for me, Newlands. But he's a classy horse. Like you say, he's got some very good South African form behind African Night Sky. You can't ignore him. Right, we've spoken about almost every horse. I'm going to give you my trifecta. I'm going to go Lee Star, Oomph, and I Travel Light.
I Travel Light, Lee Star, and New Zealand.
Okay, perfect. Right, seventh race. 1500 benchmark 41. I'm not going to look past Melson. I think he's going to be quite hard to beat. I like him because, well, he's second favorite. In fact, the favorite is Bezamod. But if you remember his last run, he came from behind Bezamod last time, managed to finish in front of him. Exactly the same distance, the same weight, everything's the same. I can't see why he won't do it again. Robbie Frad, drawn 2. I think Melson's going to be quite a tough horse to beat, in my opinion. It's not a strong race. I suppose the horse he has to beat is Bezamod. Bezamod, he just managed to beat him last time. And then Pride Rock, well, he's won 2 in a row. Once again, Brandon Louis, 4 kilos off his back. You've got to respect the chances of Pride Rock. Yanish, not an easy race 7. What do you like?
Yes, I go with you. I like Melson as well. Drawn well again with Robbie Frad. The last time, Gleaming Green was too strong for them. But I think he's a horse to beat in this race. I like Pop the Question as well. He did 2 decent races behind Emma and Declarato. The draw is not in his favor, but on his day, he will be there.
Yeah, he's done well. He won a very good race in 36. So once he's popped up to 41, he hasn't been disgraced. 2 lengths and 3 lengths behind some decent horses. I suppose you have to respect Pop the Question. I'm going to go Melson, Pride Rock, Bezamod. How are you going?
Melson, Bezamod, Pop the Question.
Okay, perfect. Right, then it's the 8th race, the Lucky Loss. It's a 1850 benchmark 31. I like the look of number 1, Julie Dar. I know he has got top weight, but if you look back at his form, he has managed to always he always runs well with top weight. What I like about Julia Dar is he's performed in this category or in this division, and he's done it quite well. He's drawn 2, very good run behind Perplexing last time. I think he was a little bit unlucky. He couldn't get a gap, and it was a very, very good run. I think his opposition are horses that are coming up from 0.25, even though they are younger horses. But Julia Dar has done well in this division. I do like the chances of him. Yanish, any thoughts on Julia Dar?
Yeah, he's the best horse in this field. If you look at his form, he's always at the finish.
Yeah, he's very
last
consistent.
Time he tried to take the first run, but got beaten by a very good Perplexing. I think he's a horse to beat.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go back, even his penultimate run, he ran behind Chester Swish, who's come out and won a good race. So, Julidar, I'm going to make him my first choice. Let's talk about his opposition. I'm going to go down to the bottom of the race. Ice Emperor, Alham, Seapass, they all ran together last time, and you could have maybe thrown a blanket over the three of them. But I think Ice Emperor is a horse, since they put the blinkers on, they put him over ground. I see they only got a 3-point penalty. I don't know if that's correct. He was at 23 last time, he's at 26, which is unusual. Normally horses get 4 points, although it's only half a kilo, but there's not a lot in it in the weights. I think that Ice Emperor will probably finish in front of Alhamd and Seapass again. As we all know, Seapass, I don't know how much money I've put on Seapass. I've now promised myself I won't put another rupee on Seapass. But I suppose with Robbie Fad, 1850, he must have a chance as well. But I think Julidar is going to be hard to beat. I'm going Ice Emperor and Seapass. Yanish, what's your trifecta for the last race, in case people need to make some money?
I like Alham. He's my value bet of the day. With draw 3, he'll be in front of Ice Emperor and Julidar. And I think he's stacks out, second best chance of the day. I hope he doesn't prove me wrong. I go with Alham, Julidar, and Ice Emperor.
Okay, that's almost similar to my trifecta. Okay, well, that's our 8 races. That's a wrap up of it. I'm gonna just recap. My banker is going to be Man from Seattle. My value bet is Charleston Yera. I hope he gets out in front with that 4 kilos off his back. He could be quite hard to catch. Yanish, your banker and your value bet?
I got 2 bankers. My first banker is Cape Horn, and the second one is Wolves Rim. And my value bet of the day is Alham.
Okay, perfect. Well, there you have it from Yanish and myself, Mark Niesus. Thank you very much for watching the show. Remember, Tuesday we're going to review this. We're going to show you some barrier trials and some gallops as well. Thanks again for joining us. Catch up with you next week. Goodbye.